Do you really want to know? Yes. Why you asked then? I'll just do a better job putting the get up. But shut up. I think I broke it. Taking the old one out. That piece came out.
Episode, microphone check, one,
On the
two, one,
hallway.
two. Episode 5, microphone check, one, two, one, two. School bus.
I don't think that one got a light on it.
School buffs.
School bus. Hey man, when you come in this episode, man, make sure you hit that like button and show some love. And if you're from the Homecoming League, man, type your team's name in the comments section. Other than that, Episode 5, we ready to get out of 2032 CFP. Oh my God, landscape, shoot. About to find out what's going on, man. Today's episode, we have a lot to talk about in such a little amount of time. We're going to talk about the new blood in the league right now. We got some new coaches that took on some states and picked up some teams, and they are in competition right away. And we got some coaches that came up from the Division 2 level and also FCS level. We also have coaches that came up from other programs in the G5, and they took on big time group of 4 programs. And we think that these teams will make a difference to close out the disc EA Sports 2025 college football. We think we're going to close out this thing on the right way on our way to 2026. With that being said, man, a quick recap. Syracuse beats Colorado the fuck up in the championship, the Natty Championship. Coach Falk winning his first homecoming championship, beating the brakes off of a very highly favored Colorado football team in the 2031 national championship game. They were ran off the field, man. Dion has yet to win a big bowl game and a big time championship game. He's been to 3 straight national championship games, losing 2 by a possession and 1 where they got their doors broken, blown off their shoes blown off their feet. Man, they got blown out. But with that, let's talk about a lot of things first. Before we get into like top 25, we're only in week 5 right now, right? Before we get into the new coaches and like what's going on around the league and take your circle around the college football league of homecoming, I want to go over here something that we haven't really shown in a while, which is records. Think about this. Bam Newton for the for the Florida Gators. Florida breaks school record in a 45-21 win over Iowa State. Bam Newton takes home a record we're going to check out on right now. But let's check out what's going on around the country and nationally right now. Since Homecoming League has started in 2024, and now we are now 2032. Peter Kingsbury, right, the second quarterback to Coach Falk and his tenure as a Syracuse offensive coordinator, him and Fran Brown. Peter Kingsbury right now holds the national passing yards at 25,367 passing yards. His receiver is Zane, we call him PHI, Philly, Z Haynes. He walks out of college football as the most receiving yards receiver in the world when it comes out of college football. Not only did he win a Heisman, he also holds this record at 10,066 receiving yards. We got a guy that played really well, and I think he's still at Georgia right now, running it up right now. One of the, we haven't seen a back height-wise this size since Derrick Henry, right? This kid's 6'4" in the backfield out there in Georgia. Keelan Strong, Right now, he's running it up 7,978, and he still have some more football left to figure it out if he's going to up the ante on that. Matter of fact, before I get to that, let's make sure I'm saying the right things, and this guy really is still playing for the Georgia Bulldogs. Yes, he is. So in 3 years, he broke that record, and right now he's on his way to running it up some more right now. So national rusher ever in college football, Keelan Strong, 7,978 yards and counting. All right, the reception leader right now, he took it from my boy, Cam Michael. His record has been taken down by the most receptions ever in college football, and that's Corey, C.J. Sadler Jr. Corey Jr., he's in his senior year right now. 519 career receptions, Shoguns, man. That's a lot of receptions for a receiver in a very crowded receiver room. Passing touchdowns are still held by none other than blue chip Juju Lewis, Colorado's second quarterback after Shedeur Sanders. They said, could Colorado run it back with the quarterback play? And all Deion Sanders has done has recruited blue chips and big time quarterbacks after Shedeur Sanders. Now, Shedeur Sanders walked out of here with some 119 Colorado records, right? But Juju has a national record with 310 touchdown passes in his career. He started as a true freshman at Colorado, and he finished out his junior year, and then he went on to the NFL as one of the top picks in the draft. He did go number 3 overall the year he came out, but 10 touchdown passes in 3 years, that's big time. Touchdown catches, taking down Cam Michaels, touchdown receptions and touchdown catches. You're looking at C.J. Sadler Jr. still playing right now in his senior year with 177 touchdowns. People want to know if he can get to that 200 touchdown mark before his senior season is over, only in week 5 right now. All right, rushing touchdowns, that's 98. He's going to beat that. He's going to take that to 100, and that's Keelan Strong, Georgia's running back. How about Jadarius Ramsey for Alabama? 88 sacks in a career. 88. And then Alabama, Jalen Mbakwe also had 38 INTs in a career, with Alabama holding it down for sacks and interceptions. We take it to the ACC, and it's a Syracuse-ran conference right now when it comes down to stats, right? Peter Kingsbury, Z. Haynes, Curtis Maryland. He's been out of the program for about 4 seasons now. 5,372 yards. Do they have a back that could take that down? I don't know. Seed Haynes, we do know is a back at Clemson right now that's been there for a while. I think he's on his senior year right now. Maybe he can get into the mix. Peter Kingsbury, Z. Haynes, Walt Emil, the first 5-star that Coach Falk and Coach Brown brought in for this Syracuse football program. He was their first elite 5-star they brought in. He had 83 sacks in his 4-year career. Curtis Maryland, rushing touchdown, 74, and interceptions, Devon Goree with 27. He went in the second round this year to the Tennessee Titans. Devon Goree, Camden product too, right? His brother is still playing football at the University of Syracuse at quarterback, Bam Goree, holding it down the senior year, and he's in the Heisman running right now. So we should see how that go. How about the Big 12 right now? It's a Colorado-led awards conference, right? When you're talking about career, obviously Juju Lewis, C.J. Sadler Jr. How about Malik Red? 6,078 yards, right? He's in his senior year right now at Colorado. So if he have a 2,000-yard season, the man will also get to about 8,000 yards. Hold on, let's go back and see something real fast. We're talking about the SEC. All right, so Keelan Strong was 7,978. Let's go back to the Big 12. 6,078. I don't know if he's going to better catch that. Again, receptions, 519. Touchdowns, 310 for Juju. Touchdown catches, 177 for C.J. Sadler Jr. London Merritt, 87 sacks. So he was 1 away for tying Jadarius over there at Alabama. 1 away, 87. London Merritt coming around. Coming around, this man went in the first round to my Baltimore Ravens, London Merritt. They said he's going to be the best pass rusher since who? Shoguns? Baltimore's best pass rusher since who? None other than Terrell Suggs. I remember when he committed to Colorado, man. He did that on Shannon Sharp's show. Shannon Sharp been in the hot seat since then, though. But he committed on Shannon Sharp's nightcap with him at Ocho. Ocho, Ocho, Ocho. I'm saying Ocho. I'm saying Ocho. The girl lying. The girl lying, Ocho. The girl lying, Ocho. We be doing some freaky shit, Ocho, but the girl lying. But the girl lying, Ocho. Ocho, it's a money grab. It's a money grab, Ocho. Ocho, it's a money grab. Rushing touchdowns, Malik Red and counting with 74 right now, with plenty of enough season left. And my boy Colton Hood, man, 27 INTs, leading Colorado all time, most interceptions for any DB to ever play at Colorado. And you're looking at right now, Colton Hood with 27 career INTs in the Big 12. Now we get to the Big 10. There's a lot of situations over here. Look at Rodney Casper, 21,951 passing yards for the Oregon Ducks. Now, listen. He was a dog last year. He did win the senior quarterback award, Johnny Unitas award, going out his senior year. He went number 15 to the Dallas Cowboys last year's draft. Rodney Casper, Oregon's
West
quarterback,
Virginia.
21,951 yards. Ron Dane, man, another New Jersey product. They think New Jersey just basketball players, crazy as shit. Ron Dane still holding the Big Ten down with 7,125 career rushing yards. It's some guys over there at USC that been there since freshman. We about to find out if these guys can catch Ron Dane and hold it down for the Big Ten. Elijah Boyce, the wide receiver for the Oregon Ducks, with 6,693 yards. Taylor Stubberfield, Purdue, still veteran, 325 catches in a career. Is anybody in the Big Ten going to catch that? They don't throw the ball that much over there, so we don't know. Other than, I think maybe Oregon might throw the ball enough to be able to catch that. Passing touchdowns, Rodney Casper with 286. Touchdown catches, Elijah Boyce, Oregon, 80. And then Monte Ball. Anybody remember Monte Ball not too long ago for Wisconsin? 77 rushing touchdowns. And then you got Oregon holding it down, Imani Fabuluji with 74 sacks in a career, holding the Big Ten record down. And interceptions, you got Andreas Berkovicki with 37 INTs at the safety position. Safety, man, he running in the middle of the field. I think he's still at Oregon. Let's go check. I think he got a season left. Let's see if he's still on the Ducks roster or is he already in the NFL. My homework should have been done. I apologize, fellas. Nope, that man's gone. We gotta go find out what round he went into because he is in the NFL right now. All right, so as you can see, that's the Big Ten, and then we slide on down here to the SEC. And Alabama's Doug Jones. I remember when this kid came out. He's doing pretty good for the Cleveland Browns. Doug Jones, man, they first quarterback to get them to a conference championship. Not just that, they made it to the AFC championship game just last year with him as the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. And he hasn't won a championship yet, but they lost actually to the Baltimore Ravens. As we saw Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens playing their first Super Bowl when Lamar told us in 2018 when he walked across that stage and he was the last pick in the first round, and he told Dion they're going to get a Super Bowl out of me. They did. My boy Baltimore Ravens and Lamar Jackson definitely won the Super Bowl last season for the NFL in real draft. All right, we're looking at Keelan Strong, 79-78. Brandon Murray. Look, the Murray brothers are all in Alabama right now, man. This family is deep. right? Brandon is balling out right now as a receiver. He just like CJ Sadler Jr. They both came in at the same year, and the talk has been this year's draft. What receivers are the best receivers coming out? Who's going to be the first receiver taken off the board? And it's going to be either Brandon Murray, in my opinion, or CJ Sadler Jr. And there's some really good receivers around the country right now, but them two has been day one starters balling out. I think CJ Sadler can give you a little bit of that Travis Hunter feel because he is an athlete that plays both sides of the ball, although Colorado doesn't really use him as much as a DB as they would like to. He's a pure receiver. He's not a guy that's going to go to the NFL and play both ways like Travis Hunter did, but he has the ability to do such. But Brandon Murray, 7,590 receiving yards, and he's still playing right now. Receptions, Brandon Murray, 369. He's still playing right now. Doug Jones is still holding it down with 236 touchdown passes. Cleveland Strong, 98 touchdowns rushes. Brandon Murray with 91 touchdowns, he's almost to 100 touchdowns, and fourth in 3.5 seasons, and a quarter, I guess. Jadarius Ramsey, 88 sacks, and Jalen Makwe. I don't know if anybody's going to take that down, 38 picks right now. That's what it looks like in a career. Now let's talk about the season and what happened nationally. Adrian Patterson Jr. at running back. Some ask me, is this Adrian Peterson's son? Well, if his last name was Peterson, you would say yeah. But this kid's last name is Patterson. So his daddy must have balled somewhere else. We just didn't get to see him in the NFL. And he did this at quarterback. He doesn't even play quarterback anymore. They moved him to running back. And he's having an outstanding season at running back last year. He went off. And then they got Braylon Murray at quarterback this year in his junior season. The Murray brothers is out there kicking it well for Alabama right now. But we're looking at C.J. Sadler Jr., Colorado, with 3,448 yards in 1 year. We got a quarterback that now play running back shotguns. Alabama's quarterback threw for 7,552 yards in 2030, just 2 seasons ago. And then I think he rushed for 2,000 yards last year. So you got a guy that's on your roster that not only threw for 75, he also rushed for 2,000 yards as a running back, right? Like now he's a full-time running back. We expect to see big things out of this guy. I mean, that's when you just go get athletes, right? That's the one thing about high school, and I think Deion set that trend where guys are allowing these guys to play and be athletes and be special and not hold them to the old standards of, you're coming to my school to play one side of the ball, or you're coming to my school to play the position we want you to play. They're letting their guys be athletes and figuring it out. And you got to think about it, right? Like what you could do with this kid. Because on the trajectory he was on, he fuck around would have been a first round drafted quarterback. Some would say moving a running back might get him drafted lower than he would have a quarterback. Would you agree with that?
Well, it's really going to depend on the team that drafts him. I mean, the tape is the tape. So when they go and they watch that tape, they may very well, say, hey, when you come here, it's wide open as far as returning to the quarterback position.
That's what I wanted. That's what I wanted to ask you. Like, does Adrian Patterson have a career in the NFL as a quarterback? And how many out of those 32 teams, how many GMs and coaches might see him as a quarterback?
I would say every last one of them that doesn't have a Mahomes, a Jalen Hurts, a Daniels. I would think there's at least 20 franchises that should be seeing where the NFL is trending. So I think that he could definitely get another look at the quarterback position.
And right now you got Bam Goree for Syracuse, and then you have Clemson's quarterback as well. Are guys that like are highly looked at, saw that, and then you're also looking at Keyshawn Henderson out of Colorado as well, right? But like Adrian Patterson Jr. could possibly be the number one quarterback in this draft, and he's not even a quarterback this season over the last 2 seasons.
I mean, it's very possible. I mean, the NFL game is continuing to transition to mirror the college game. So, there's going to be a lot more guys getting used. a lot more two tight end sets. Guys are H backs now. Some tight ends can play slot. I mean, it's the offense is really going to open up for a lot of these guys. So they're gonna there's a lot of these guys that's going to revive their careers. You know, fullbacks can transition in, you know, into H backs
Yep.
and go into tight end position. So it's if I was every kid, I would just continue to play hard and just know that, you know, let your tape speak for itself, because, you know, the NFL is slowly evolving to mirror college.
Yes, and then and the fact of the matter is we saw it over the last few years. I mean, how do I say this? The Lamar Jackson transition from the dual threat quarterback to a guy that threw 41 touchdown passes a couple of years ago. And then still has the athletic ability to do all the things he want on the ground as a rusher, and you see it evolving, right? And you see exactly what you said. The college game is transitioning to the NFL for sure. And what we're getting out of players right now are athletes, right? And you saw it in high school. Most high school players, coaches played their best athlete at quarterback. And now you're starting to see it at the college level. And you're seeing it for a long time at the college level, and it's transitioning to the NFL level as we speak right now. But how crazy would that be? Alabama starting tailback over the last 2 years could absolutely be the first quarterback taken in the 2032 draft.
That, as wild as it sounds, you know, for those that are forward thinking, it wouldn't be shocking, but it definitely still holds a wild factor as for where the NFL is right now.
Yes, sir. All right, receiving yards in the season, 3,448 from C.J. Sadler Jr. That's just ridiculous. That's a bunch of dick Ryan. But Hanif Anderson, damn near touched 3,000 yards as a runner in 2029. 2,000, look, the comp that they gave him, all right, is Ward Dunn, Florida State to Tampa Bay
Mm.
to the Falcons, and the Falcons
Hmm.
drafted him in the 2029 draft. And this man rushed for 2,895 yards, little back, right? Uh, that can run in between the tackles. I mean, when I say splitting image of work done, it's splitting image of work done, and he's having success in the NFL over the last couple of years as well. Receptions, again, 179 in one season, 2030 CJ Shallow Jr. How about Jaden O'Neal? Colorado has sent, possibly going to send four straight quarterbacks in the first round. Shador Sanders in 2024, Juju Lewis, Jaden O'Neal, and then you got Keyshawn Henderson right now playing out his senior year right now, where they might have four quarterbacks back to back to back years to go in the first round out of Colorado. Could you? I mean, most people was like, after Shador Sanders, what is Deion going to do? Is he going to be at Colorado? Da, da, da. He's still at Colorado, and he's bringing those type of players in to be able to make people think NFL over NIL, and development is happening out there in Colorado, and he's doing a good job landing these type of quarterbacks to be able to continue to push the NFL dream forward. Touchdown.
Hmm.
I mean,
I mean,
think about it.
just look at the offensive personnel, the coaching staff that he brought in on both sides of the football.
Hmm.
Um, a lot of NFL pedigree that assisted in bridging these kids and getting them ready for the NFL. So now, you know, Colorado, you know, is turned in a QBU.
Hmm.
And one more thought on the kid that you were just talking about that got drafted by the Falcons. Just a fun fact, and nobody should be surprised if you know the history and the current status of the Falcons. Warwick Dunn is part of the ownership group
Oh
for the
God.
Falcons.
And he go get his mirror splitting image, huh? Look
Hmm.
in the mirror, Hanif Anderson. Look in the mirror, Ward done. Look in the mirror, Hanif Anderson. Look in the mirror, Ward done. Man, touchdown catches in the season, 66 for C.J. Sadler Jr. in 2030. Uh, this kid won the Heisman as well. Touchdown catches in 2030, 66. He had 103 passing touchdowns from Jaden O'Neal. Now he took down in the season. Nationally, this was Juju Lewis's record, and Jaden O'Neal did it in 2030. falling short 3 points in the national championship. Would have been the first Colorado quarterback to get a title. Now Keyshawn Henderson has one more opportunity, but the more you go and lose, the harder it is to get back to it. Hanif Anderson, 40 rushing touchdowns in season 2029, his senior year. Sacks, Jordan Ross, Tennessee. Not only did Tennessee send a guy before him to the NFL that went to the Atlantic Falcons as well. The year after him, Coach Corey had Jordan Ross, Tennessee, 2027 with 39 sacks in the season. And then the interceptions in the season has been 14. Al Wardley from Washington, still holding that down from the 50s. When you start looking at the ACC, Syracuse, now Marshall Sessions is still playing right now. 2031, he got 34 sacks. He did that last year. He went crazy. He won the Heisman last year from a defensive linebacker position, right outside linebacker Marshall Sessions for the Clemson Tigers. Listen, there's not a programming like the Clemson Tigers, man. Every year there's somewhere between I would say 16 to 18 5-stars. I mean, they're assigning half the 5-star class every year. How do you compete with that?
That's tough. Ask somebody to compete with that.
Now I'm gonna say that's impressive, right? But I think it's even more impressive the teams like USC, Alabama's, the Syracuse's, the Colorado's, the Florida's, the Oregons of the world. Like those programs, they're doing their thing, right? Colorado, you saw them in the top 5. They were number 2 years in a row, back-to-back years, and you can see it when you look at their roster. You can see those type of players coming in, right? But Colorado has never brought in more than 4 or 5 stars in homecoming league, more than 4. Alabama as well. You're looking at Oregon. I think Oregon brought in 6 last season. But the development, right? You ask yourself, Clemson has won 3 national titles. They won back-to-back titles. And they have a total of 4 national titles under Coach Hoodie.
God.
4 under Coach Hoodie, right? And had the number 1 class under Coach Hoodie since season 3. I think season 1 they didn't get the number 1 class, but then I think from season 2 to where we are right now, they've had the number 1 class, and it's been nothing but 12 or more 5-stars every year. So does that line up with the way they're winning and how they're relevant when it comes down to playoff and championship games, considering what they're bringing in from each high school class?
I mean, very relevant. I would love to get a hold of some of those assistant coaches and scouts because they're obviously creating a bond with some of these highly touted recruits and talking them into coming into the same team when most of the time you'll see that they want to go to a different,
especially in the transfer portal era. I knew you was going there. That's why I fuck with you. I knew you was going there, and you're talking about NIL and transfer portal era where you're getting teams that like the Nick Saban Alabamas and the Georgias of the world where they got 5-star after 5-star after 5-star waiting for their chance to play. And that's what Clemson is doing right now. Now, how hard is that to do with the transfer portal and with NIL? So it ain't a dream they selling. It's a vision they selling, and that vision is really working wonders right now because that's almost impossible to do in today's climate of football. To be able to get 5-star after 5-star after 5. I mean, you look at their quarterback room; there's nothing but 5-stars, and they're waiting patiently for their turn. And if you got 6 quarterbacks that's 5-stars on your roster, 5 of those 6 that's not playing right now can be anywhere in the country as starters right now. Anywhere. None of them left. All of them stand still, and they all waiting their turn. And, some of them guys is going to walk out of the college football without having been a starter as a 5-star, have been a starter at all in their career, and still have an opportunity to go play in the NFL.
Well, that's why some teams that they refer to the environment they created as a brotherhood. They're willing to sacrifice playing time. They're willing to sacrifice positions just to when they talk about a brotherhood, it also talks about the boosters. The boosters are on board. That means that the community, the state is on board because a lot of these kids, they're either going pro or some of them are going into great careers because everybody is on board. And that's the type of environment you need if you're going to get 5-star after 5-star to come there to even sit behind someone.
So let me ask you this. We watched Nick Saban walk out of the college football saying because of NIL and all that and transfer portal ruining college football. But Dabo Sweeney, along with their defensive coordinator, Coach Hoodie, they remember Dabo was adamant on not getting transfers. They can transfer out of here, but we're not going after transfers. We're doing it the old traditional way. And think about it now. While Nick Saban walked away from it, Clemson showed that they can continue to do exactly what Alabama was doing. And the reason why they were dominant the way they were, because they had all the talent there. Clemson is doing that right now. Dabo Sweeney he won 6 titles total with Coach Hoodie winning 4 of them with him. 2 before that.
Because Dabo made a decision. Yes, he wasn't going into the transfer portal, but that means that he got his fan base, his boosters, the community going all in on traditional recruiting. So they put all of their focus into traditional recruiting.
And then the NIL packages that they gonna have, right? Because when you gotta think about it, all them guys they send into the NFL are boosters. They become, ex-Clemson guys that their pockets are deep, right? And when they got deep pockets like that, they're selling their brand. They're selling Clemson as a brand, and they, you come here. Now, you're gonna go pro somehow, some way. It might not be the NFL, but you're going pro somehow. And it's no different than what Coach Prime is speaking, right? Where they got nothing but NFL gold jacket guys all over their coaching staff, right? And they're teaching these guys how to be pros, right? When you think about the 2025 draft class, right? All those Colorado guys are being spoken about as adapted to the NFL right away. Like there's no hiccup there. These guys are pros coming into the NFL, right? And then you go back to what Clemson is doing, right? And you're keeping all that talent on that roster. And you know what I'm saying? And they're developing that talent on that roster. And you said it best, the brotherhood that gets built there. Those guys go on to becoming boosters, and that's their way. They made their way is going to be a household stay until this league is over, because when you got guys that come from that and then they got the money to be able to keep that coming, how do you beat that? How do you, that's programming right there, man. Something that I thought Nick Saban could have probably did himself if he'd have just stuck it out instead of bitching about it.
I think Nick Saban he saw the writing on the wall. It was just his time. He is just like when you look at the NFL, there's still guys to this day that's 100% wrong about Lamar Jackson, but they give half-hearted apologies. Like we still looking for Bill Polian. He doubles down, or his apology is half-hearted. Nick just knew that his time was done.
Right. But then he also saw the bigger picture because he's the commissioner of homecoming.
Hey, there you go.
Somebody quit. He said you could have waited till halftime. Damn. Oh my God. Come on, baby boy. You keep rolling up before your games and then getting blown the fuck out and then quitting on niggas. Knock it off. You won't last in our league that long.
Who did that?
The nigga that got Tennessee over here, he did that shit on the Falk not too long ago. There it go. Need to force Georgia quit. Oh my God. He gonna have to stop doing that shit, bro. But see, when you start saying shit to niggas like, yo, man, you can't do that. At least gotta tell a nigga you gonna, you know what I'm saying? You gonna friendly concede.
Yeah. At least wait to the start of the second half, and then at least so the person can keep their stats. Because not only did that person, they look at it like I wasted my time.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden I put that time in, and I also lost out on stats. I lost out on time and stats.
Yep.
That you won't get versus the CPU sometimes, depending on how the game was.
At all, right? Like that shit crazy, but man.
Yeah, there's just some stuff.
He just did it to Falk twice, like 2 seasons in a row. Falk like, don't schedule him with me no more. Yeah, that's the second time. Take long as hell rolling this weed up and then get aired and quit. But then if I say something to him, he gonna quit both leagues. I promise you, if I DM him right now, 5 minutes later, he gonna walk out of both leagues. And we at the point now where, we don't care about that shit no more. We used to deal with that shit in Madden and let niggas get breaks and all that. We ain't doing that at college. We got 3 strong leagues running and they don't have to see what I learned about college is because it's, the way we play it in this conference of games and all that. Computer is part of the league. When you play Madden, it's 32 users, right? But in college, you're going to play computer games. So you don't need a full 32 player teams. And you know what I mean? You don't need a full league. You just need, I think your league would be good if you got somewhere between 12 to 15 strong. And let's just say each of our leagues, homecoming might be the strongest right now. And then you got double R. We know we got an active 16 over there, right? Active 12 to 10 that play every game, whether it's computer or user. So if he was the lead, we wouldn't give a flying fuck because you can get away with it because there are computer games that's being played. So it is what it is. But yeah, he got to get it together. He can't be doing shit like that, man. All right, so you're looking at season. Colorado, Jaden O'Neal threw for 6,995. CJ Saller 3,448. Malik Red with 2,731 rushing yards, 179 receptions, and 103 touchdown passes by Jaden O'Neal. CJ Sadler Jr. with 179 receptions in the season. He also had 66 touchdowns in the season. Christian Hudson, man, back in 2030 at 38 sacks in the season. Malik Red rushed for 35 touchdowns. And Brandon Arrington, he's still playing right now. 2031, 13 INTs right now. Can he beat that for his senior year? In fact, I think he's a junior. He might not even be a senior. In the Big Ten, we're looking at Oregon's Rodney Casper, again, 6,472 yards. But then you got Zachariah Branch with 3,281 yards in the season back for UCF. Melvin Gore, remember that name? 2587.
Mm-hmm.
You got Zay Tuman for Oregon right now. 127 receptions in the season. Rodney Casper, 84 touchdowns. You got Zay Tuman, 46 touchdowns as a receiver in 2031. Monte Ball, Wisconsin. Remember them when Wisconsin, they was like the NFL Denver Broncos. Whoever you put in that backfield under that system was going to rush for 1,000 yards for sure.
I can't believe he didn't make it. He didn't last long.
I thought he was going to be a problem in the league. Monte Ball, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought he was going to be a problem in the league. That motherfucker ain't do a goddamn thing. All right. Amani Fabaluji for Oregon with 29 sacks, and then James Ingram, DB in 2029, had 14. All right, we're going on to the SEC, and we're looking at Adrian Patterson Jr. again at 7,500. He threw for 7,552 yards and don't even play quarterback anymore. I just can't get that out of my head. 28-13 for Keelan Strong in 2030. Can he beat that his senior year? Nick Harbor for South Carolina in 2024 had 2,811 yards reception. Tito Toncho.
Cheat code.
Yes, sir. Cheat code. Tito Toncho, Oklahoma in 2029 had 126 receptions. Adrian Patterson Jr. passing touchdowns 86. Jordan Ross, 2027, 39 sacks. Tito Toncho had 35 receiving touchdowns, rushing touchdowns. Keelan Strong with 35. And Zabion Brown, Alabama, with 13 picks in the season as well. All right, we're not going to go to game stats. We just wanted to see that. And let's get to these teams a little bit. Look at the top 25 right now. And while I'm looking at the top 25, we're going to talk about the new coaches in the league right now. All right. Our national champions come back in the 2032 season as the number 1 team right now with 36 votes. They're 3-0 right now. They're a big game they just had against number 22 ranked Oklahoma. And if we go down this mark, I know Oklahoma was ranked higher than 22. They were actually 16 and they fell to 22. So when they played, Oklahoma was ranked 16th and Syracuse took care of them 55-31 at Oklahoma too. They going against Boston College this week. They are the number 1 team in the media poll and the number 1 team in the coaching poll right now. All right, when you look at the number 2 team in the nation, they just came from number 3 after beating the shit out of Coach Bo, 91-7 TCU. They at 14th ranked Cincinnati, where they took care of them earlier today. At number 2, Colorado. Now, number 3, Oregon Ducks. They went from 4 to 3. They beat up on Minnesota 85-7. They do take on the Missouri Tigers this week on Miami. Now, new blood came in, right? We got a coach that came in, took over this Miami roster. This Miami roster is really good. Sometimes guys look at these overalls on rosters where coaches have been dead in the water, dead ducks, not doing anything to their roster. They have, they got to kind of rebuild, restructure. The one thing Miami did was, I will say this, their coach that wasn't playing games did recruit, and he did a pretty solid job at recruiting. But Miami right now, right, they sitting at 5-0 right now, the number 4 team in the nation. And I think they gonna compete, man. We like the fact that they got a new coach over here. And to be honest with you, man, I think they're gonna be in a situation where they got an opportunity. So my question is, how far does that opportunity go? When you're dealing with the University of Miami right now. Give me a second. And what was the word? Was versus LSU. All right. So Joe K. This is my Texas user in Double R. He got the University of Miami right now. He's a really good user. He's a playoff user in Double R. And I think he's going to do the same thing over here in Miami. We're going to find out because he's in a tough division, right? You got the Syracuse and Clemson over there. Both those programs are really big time programs. North Carolina State is pretty solid over there as well. So we're going to see how that plays itself out with Florida State over there. Coach C. Howe, you just got finished playing Coach C. Howe. Yeah, so we'll talk about that when we get to your rankings and all that. But we like Joe K, man. He's the new head coach over there for the University of Miami, and he's trying to bring the U back. And right now, they're sitting at 4th place right now. It's something to say when you got a coach that take over a roster that's not theirs yet, but they succeed with that roster. That tells you what type of coach he really is, right? The old coach was wearing his welcome out. New coach come in with the old coach's talent and make that talent play at a high level. But I think after this season, we're going to better tell you what this Miami coach is going to be going forward. But right now, again, they're sitting at number 4 in the nation right now. How do you feel? You think they got a shot to make some waves right now at 5-0?
I don't know a lot about I don't know much about this coach, but his reputation precedes him. So to be able to walk in and immediately command a room, the good thing is if you can coach and and the ingredients are already there, you can cook.
You can cook, from flat out cook. And you could cook up some gumbo fast, and get it done, right? And go bake a cake. You can do all that shit right now when you got the agree. If your pedigree is that that ninja, let's say it that, then you gonna better, like you said, if you can command the room, right, and you can get these kids' attention, and you can get them to play football for you, man, you can get them to believe in you, and then believe in themselves, you can make something happen. And I think that's what you're seeing right now with the Miami coach. How about Brandon, our Alabama coach? He went from ranked number 10 in the nation to number 5, right? They fell. They're one of the top programs in homecoming too. They got 2 national titles. They fell because they lost early on to Syracuse, but they came back and beat Clemson 45-42 in a barn burner. Oh my God. And they got number 20 ranked Tennessee. So they're going to move. They're going to slide right up that poll right now since they're 10. And now they're number 5 in the nation right now. Alabama is putting their work at 3-1. You're looking at the University of Georgia and Coach Tata is sitting at 6 right now. They're 3-1. Took care of Bowling Green. They got Texas A&M, a hot Texas A&M team. Look, Texas A&M got a new coach as well. They're not ranked right now, but the coach is doing pretty good things over there at Texas A&M. And if you come in and take a Texas program over, especially AM or the Longhorns, you're sitting on NIL bread. You're gonna better bring those guys in. All you gotta do is show them that they got a steady coach that's gonna win some ball games. And those Texas, you ain't gotta lead the state of Texas and can get it done right now, right? So he's gonna be in competition because Texas is getting it done in the recruiting. You got Baylor, who's balling out in Texas right now. They got to play West Virginia. This is going to get real scary. Matter of fact, let me send him an invite now because that game about to kick off soon. But we looking at number 6 is Georgia, right? There you go. There you go. Number 6 in the country is Georgia. That's Coach Tata. Again, that Texas A&M Georgia game gonna be legit, right? And wait, is Joe K Miami or he Texas? Hold on, fuck up. Let me find out. Make sure I get my. Hold on, you Miami over here or Texas A&M over here? I think he's gonna take. Yeah, he took Miami. Hear me up. He Miami. Bet. All right. Coach Hitter, 3-0 right now. 45-21 over Iowa State. His quarterback, Bam Newton, broke a in-season record. They at BYU, man. Traveling to Utah to go take on BYU is not an easy task when you playing 26 and 27-year-olds that be going on pilgrimages their freshman year. They come back grown as hell over there, playing grown-ass NFL men and shit. Clemson falls from number 2 to 8 at 2-1 right now, losing the barn burner 45-42 to the Alabama Crimson Tide. They got at Virginia Tech. They take on them and get themselves back in the mix. How about USC 3-1? They did lose to Clemson early on, playing a tough schedule like that, but they came back hard, beat the brakes off of Maryland. They got Michigan State at USC at the Coliseum. So we should see how that plays out. And then Texas at 2-1. They on a bye this week. They play Akron. They was on a bye last week. They play Akron this week, so they should get it done with no problem. And then there's the number 11 ranked team in the nation, and that's the Baylor Bears. They did lose their opener to Texas Longhorns, which was a big game because, the state of Texas, right? Baylor is looking to move in and take some of these recruits from Texas Longhorns right now. And to think about it, Texas has been surrounded because they got Texas A&M they got to deal with, and then Baylor they got to deal with, and then not for nothing, the Big 12 teams are based in digging into Texas for their athletes as well. So Texas is in a situation right now where they got to show off and show out because you got some programs that's in the mix right now. Now Baylor beat the brakes off of Arizona State 66-0. And they got the number 12 ranked team in the nation. So we're about to get an 11 versus 12 matchup where you got two coaches. You got Coach Unk is still in the building. I don't think my boy slid anywhere. Coach Riley, he's a defensive guru. We just got to get him to really enjoy college football to get to that shit he get to. And then Coach Shoguns took over this West Virginia program. Look, this program was dead in the dumps. And then for 2 seasons, last year, it was your first understudy as a coach there, getting to fill out your team and all that. You came in late. They already had their recruiting class pretty much lined up. So you still haven't been able to really put your spin onto this football team, but you are in a situation where you're 3-1 coming off a beat down to UCF. And right now you at number 11 Baylor. I'm going to let you go. I appreciate the co-host and coach. Get locked in and play your game. But this is a big-time program. We will talk about this West Virginia and Baylor program a little later. LSU found a new coach, right? LSU has found a new coach. They just had a coach that did some pretty good things at times. But he was also known for giving up 120-plus points to Alabama 2 seasons in a row. But this LSU coach is not playing games right now. He's looking to turn this program completely around, being number 13 in the nation after beating the shit out of a FCS school. They take on Marshall. Cincinnati in the Big 12, they rank number 14 in the nation. They just got blown the fuck out by Colorado. That should drop them, might even drop them out of the top 25. Florida State, 2 tough losses for Florida State, right? They lost to Colorado early on week 2, and then they just lost to West Virginia. 2 Big 12 teams gave them their losses, but they did beat up on Pittsburgh 49-14, and they taking on Virginia this week as well. UCLA, man, Coach Harold back. beat the brakes off of Illinois, and they at Iowa at number 16 in the nation right now. Stanford in the ACC is at number 17. They were 5 in the nation. The Stanford roster is pretty solid, but they dropped to 17 right now. Memphis, first group of 5 school, 18 in the nation. Purdue at 19 as well, computer team. Tennessee, he dropped to 20, moved up to 20 after beating Arizona 35-31. Arizona was ranked, but they at 15, number 5, Alabama. And if he just quit over there in the other league against Texas, boy, I wonder what's about to happen when he play Alabama. Because I know for a fact Brandon about to hit me like, yo, bro. Like, Brandon ain't going to do what Joe K did. Like, yo, just set my force, bro. Homeboy quit. Brandon is going to snap. He want his stats. He want all that shit. He ain't trying to hear none of that. So as soon as he quit that game, he out of here, and we putting him on Aldo. So you better like roll up your L, Tennessee coach, and be able to take a L or go out there and handle business. Notre Dame's sitting at 21 after being 25. They're 4-0 right now with Wake Forest on the docket. Oklahoma just lost a big time game to Syracuse. They on a bye this week, though, but they fell from 16 to 22. Rutgers is from 13 to 23. Kentucky wasn't ranked. They are ranked now at 3-1, 24 in the nation. And Miami University of Ohio is number 25 in the nation. That's your top 25 right now, man. When we talk about Heisman race right now, when they're running, Oregon's middle linebacker in the senior year, Matt Miles, 6'2", 231 pounds. He's trending up right now. 14 tackles, a sack, and a forced fumble in his last game against Minnesota. They go to running back that I want to talk about, Tay Scott. He went bonkers. He said, fuck everything, let's go. I ain't mad at you. 17 carries, 410 yards, 24.1 a pop, 6 rushing touchdowns. That man went bonkers against Maryland. And then Bam Gorey and Coach Falk, 26 for 31, 378 passing yards, 6 touchdowns. He did throw a pick. He was sacked once, 48 yards rushing and a rushing touchdown as well. Now he's trending down, but first quarterback that we've seen in a while on here, along with Tim McQueen, sitting down here at the 5th player on this race. Number 4 in our way, Zay Tuman. This kid, man, look, special teams guy as well. 8 catches, 195 yards, 4 receiving touchdowns against Minnesota. And then Tim McQueen, they beat up on Illinois. He was 21 for 31, 733 yards, passing yards. A lot of these new guys got to see what's happening is, and myself included, the new guys are scoring well over the computer rules scoring, and is making the old guys say fuck it, myself included. Although I just played a user in TCU. But 10 passing touchdowns, 1 interception. All right, Harold, stop. You got to knock that shit out. You can be throwing for almost 1,000 yards against computer in one game. 3 rushers, 38 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns. Tim McQueen shitting though. This shit. All right, as we go through the week, man, in the schedule, we're looking at, I guess, the big games: West Virginia, Baylor, Tennessee and Alabama, Colorado at Cincinnati, and they got Syracuse at Boston College as games of the week, right? View the national schedule, we could view it there, but we're not. We're just going to sit here and say that. And when we come back on the next episode of Hit Piece, we're going to break some teams down individually, man. Especially this Alabama team. We're calling it the Brotherhood episode, right? Braylon, Brandon, and who's the other one? Braylon, Brandon, and the safety. Let's go to Alabama real fast. Bryson Murray. He's a senior this year. Braylon is a redshirt junior this year, and Brandon is a senior this year. The Murray brothers, right? They call them the 3 deep. 3 BMs. I want to talk about them, and we also want to go and talk about this USC's running back room, which is fucking retarded, and their receiver room as well. But we're looking at junior Alani Addison. You're looking at Tay Scott. Shit, not for nothing, they got a young junior down here as well that can also get busy at 6 foot 233 pounds. And then not for nothing, we like their receiver room as well, right? But I do think Alabama got the best receiver room, hands down, from top to bottom, best receiver room in the country. And then we have a quarterback situation. The junior is being redshirted, Ren Bayfly. I think they're playing Kerry Benedict, which I would probably be playing myself as a freshman, star, 3-star. But look what the talent he's bringing to this table right now as a true freshman, right? 191 yards. I don't know if he's a starter right now. We're gonna find out who they got starting. Are they starting Nick Owens? So they went. They said before we get to game 4, we're gonna redshirt our junior elite, which is smart, right? I think that's smart. You redshirt the junior. He's been balling for you. 13 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Sit his ass down. He got an injury that's gonna put him out for the year, and then you're gonna start the freshman and go ahead and involve that run game, right? The freshman gonna start 3-star Kerry Benedict, who's playing way. He should have been a 4-star for sure, man. This kid is a monster. But then you're gonna rely on his run game. Like, this is where I'm gonna rely on it right here. But when we come back, episode 6, and on the Hit Piece show, we're gonna talk about USC and Alabama, both teams, man. Because I like this Alabama wide receiver room. They might be the deepest wide receiver room in the country, flat out. I mean, look at the. I mean, they went and got track stars, right? Bang, 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 bang. Like, look at this receiver room. They are loaded. They can close the disc out with this wide receiver room itself. I'm gonna talk about that on the next episode, man. Our man hits the franchise guru, the dynasty guru. We're out of here.